Welcome. I will discuss Doppler's effect. What is Doppler's effect? Means when there is a relative motion between the source and listener or observer, whatever term you may like, there is a relative motion between the listener and source. What is happening? The number of waves reaching to the listener is changing. So there is an apparent change in frequency. This apparent change is dealt in Doppler's effect. Now let us see what I will say. That first of all, two things you have to remember, or few certain things. Some common sense if we can use, then the formula will become very similar. Suppose if the source is coming towards the observer, then apparent frequency will increase. If the observer is moving towards the source, then also apparent frequency will increase. And it is our common sense that if source is going away or observer is going away, that means their relative distance is increasing, then the apparent frequency decreases. This is one thing if you can remember. I will give you certain tips such that it can be done very easily. Next thing is, in a ratio, if numerator increases, then the value will increase. If denominator decreases, then also value will increase. If numerator decreases, the value decrease. And if denominator increases, the value will decrease. So in this way, we can remember a general formula. That is N dash, that is the apparent frequency equals to N, the real frequency. V is speed of sound. This is V of V0 is velocity of observer, and this is velocity of source. So by changing these plus minus signs, we will show how to do the sums. Suppose one case is observer moving towards source and the source remains static. Observer moving towards the source. So here what will happen? The frequency will increase, and so this one, for increasing, the denominator will increase, numerator will increase, then only it will increase. And since this is in this case source is static, so it will be 0. So this will be here. By putting here 0, you will get the thing. Now when moving away from the source, observer moving away from the source, and the source is static, in this case also what will happen? It will decrease. So for decreasing, we will put this one minus, and this quantity will be 0. In this way it will, if we are numerator is decreasing, the value will decrease. Next is the observer is static and the source is moving towards observer. Now observer is static, put this one as 0, and moving towards observer. That means again it will increase. For increasing it, this one should decrease. So we will put V minus velocity of source. Then again the observer is static and the source is moving away from the observer. Observer is static and source is moving away, so frequency will decrease. For decreasing, we have to increase the denominator, and this observer static, it will be 0. Again, if we are saying that the observer is moving towards source and source is moving towards observer, means observer is also increasing, source is also increasing. For that, observer is increasing, we have to increase the denominator, and source is also contributing for increasing, so we have to decrease the denominator such that the maximum increase is possible. Similarly, when observer is moving towards source and source is moving away from the observer, that means here observer is increasing and source is decreasing. For observer is increasing, we will put here plus, numerator is increasing, and source is decreasing, we will put here plus, such that source can decrease. In this way, again, observer is moving away from source and source is also moving away from observer. Both are observing, going away from each other. So in that case, both will contribute for decrease. For decreasing, it will be minus, and for decreasing, this will be plus. These things you have to understand. Then only by using a single formula, when to put plus, when to put minus, when it will be 0. And the last one is moving away from source. The observer is moving away from source and source is moving towards the observer. Observer moving away from source, that means observer is decreasing, so it will be minus, and source is moving towards the observer, so it will increasing. In this way we can find all the possible solutions in different situations. Just what we have to remember, when the distance between those is increasing, then frequency decreases. If the distance is decreasing, then frequency increases. And which one is contributing for increase, which one is contributing for decrease, accordingly we have to adjust this plus minus signs. Again I am repeating, if numerator increases, the value will increase, denominator decreases, the value will increase. These things you are knowing, just you have to use your common sense. So by remembering only one formula, you can solve all the problems. Just you have to remember, observer is in numerator and source is in denominator.